Hello friends, my name is Habib. Today we are going to learn functions and classes in Python. Before you watch this video, make sure that you have watched my previous videos about if statements and inputs in Python. So anyways, first you have to open up VS Code, File, Open Folder, Documents, New Folder, Functions and Classes in Python. Create, open. So anyways, once you've created the folder, also make sure that you have installed the Python and Pylance extension for VS Code. So now, in this folder, create an index.py and open up the terminal. So now, since this video is about functions and classes, I'm going to create a function named func. Print I am a function. Also, before you watch this video, make sure you have a basic knowledge of Python. So anyways, you can write python3 index.py, which you see it's going to do nothing. Now, if you don't know what functions is, once we define this function, you might expect it to print I am a function, but it doesn't. That is because when we define the function, we have to actually call the function. So write func to call it. Now you will see it prints I am a function. You can name it anything you want, like NC, anything you want. You can also create multiple functions. Def n equals print a n to call the function or run it. See, it's there. So anyways, we've covered the basics of functions, and also remember you can put anything you want inside a function, like a variable, so x equals 10, and then print x. In fact, you can even put a function inside of a function, but I'm not going to do that now, since it's completely unnecessary. So anyways, so now that we created this x function inside of the function, but if we try to say something like print x, it is going to show an error. That is because this x is locally scoped. This variable can only be accessed inside of the function and cannot be accessed anywhere outside, because we are trying to access this x variable outside of the function, so it is not going to work. So anyways, now that we've got all this, what if I want to write something like print H is a boy, he loves to eat, and he is 12 years old. Now if I call this function, you will see it says H is a boy, he loves to eat, and he is 12 years old. But what if I want to modify these values? Because if I write something like H is 33 years old, then if I want to modify his age, then I have to modify both of them. H is 12 H is 16 years old, H is 16 years old. And that can get pretty tedious, especially if it is repeated over and over again. So that is where function parameters come in. Function parameters are like variables, except that they can only be accessed inside of the function. Right, NC equals name, comma, age. Now I'm going to put F to format this and write name is a boy, he loves to eat, and he is age years old. Age. If we run this, you'll see we'll get an error. That is because once we define function parameters, we'll actually have to define the value of these function parameters. So since we have two function parameters, that means we'll have to define two values. The name is going to be HBA, with the age being 10. HBA is a boy, he loves to eat, and he is 10 years old. H is 10 years old. But if I try to exclude one of them, or not give a value to one of them, it's going to show an error. But what if we want to do something like, we don't want to give the age parameter a value, and we only want to give this name parameter a value. So I can write age equals 10, which will mean that if we don't give this age parameter a value, by default it gives the age parameter a value of 10. But you can still change this to something like 20, and there it works. And we can define as many function parameters as we want. So anyways, now that you know functions, it's time to talk about classes. Classes is basically a slightly more complex version of a function. Class SMTH. Let's talk about function, the initialization things. Now we can write def underscore init self comma name. Then we can write self dot name equals name, and then let me remove this function. Once we do that, if we run this, it's going to show an error. That is because we have to define the value for the name. Hab is going to be the name, and then I'm going to write print s.name. Now it is going to print the name. So now, but what if we don't want to define a value for the name? But name equals 10. And then it is going to print 10 since we have defined a value for the name. But we can still change it like we can do in functions. So now, but you might be wondering, then why don't we define a value for self? That is because this self, it basically gets all of the variables inside of this class. So if I write self.name equals name, next time I want to use this variable inside of the class, like you can create a function, right? Def p self comma th. Instead of writing print name, I can instead write print self.name, which is going to get this variable inside of the class. So if I create a new variable called age, I can define it by writing self.age equals age. and then I can define the name, which is going to be H, and then the age, which is going to be 10. Remove this th. So then I can write, instead of writing s.name, I can write s.p, which is going to print the name. And then I can also write print self.age. You can also add parameters by writing self, th, and then I'm going to write print th. I can write self.p hello, which is going to print hello. So anyways, that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel ObaCode. Bye.